Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video covering the CR-005 from Wallhack. This is their all-new control glass variant, and it does feel very different than other things on the market, as well as other things in the Wallhack lineup. Unfortunately, right now, you will only be able to have this in a single solitary color, not any of their epic designs. But the great thing about the pad is, again, if you probably don't have something like this in your lineup, it has a unique feel to the skin in terms of glass. It has all of the improvements, including the beveled edges. It's 510 by 440, so it's got plenty of size. And it does have that very nice Wallhack silicone backing. In terms of the glide, that's where things really are going to come into play. And in terms of the speed, you will instantly, even if you're lighter on your mouse with a exceptionally light mouse, you will feel this sense of tug and kind of feedback on your skates in terms of this slower feel than something like the SP-005. When you dig into the pad, that's really when the control seriously takes control of your mouse. You feel as though you can stop on a dime very abruptly when you apply downward pressure, and you'll feel this little tug in speed, this reduction as you push down. And it's still a very like soft, silky, smooth, buttery glide. And on the skin, again, it's like silky, but has like a little bit of this like kind of, I don't really know how to explain it, but kind of like a grain to it, but still a silky, smooth glass experience. In terms of comparing it to a cloth control pad, it is obviously still very different. It's got very unique glass propensities and properties here. Even the initial friction really feels rather low to me on this pad, but again, when you dig in, you've got that control. And then on static movements, very slow movements, you feel kind of a sense of tug from the pad as well, applying this extra element of control. Now, to me, in terms of gaming performance, there are a plethora of things that kind of change in my overall performance. And I still perform very, very well on the pad, and I perform better in some areas. But in comparison to a glass pad like the SP-005, my kind of like minute tracking, I just feel less wiggly on this than I do on the SP-005. And I feel like I have less extended movements that I have to correct in my overall tracking. Now, when I am really locked in, though, I do like that movement on the SP-005, and I'll get into a little bit of the difference in feel in this SP-005 segment. And obviously with the CR-005, you don't have something that right now comes with a art piece. You don't have something that really makes a bold statement on your desk, either for your own personal enjoyment or if you're using it on hand cam, etc. And some of their pads that have designs like the SP-005 feel extremely good. It's just a different variant that you really sense as soon as you put your mouse on the pad. The CR-005 is something, again, that is really that different from the SP, that makes it feel exceptionally more controlled and slower in dynamic friction, static friction, etc. But it's still a glass pad, but it is nice to have that variation in their lineup. I think the CR-005 is a great pad, but the differences that I feel it most in game, the SP-005, I like that feeling of freedom. I don't have that sense of tug or magnetism on really any of my movements, even when I dig down into the pad. So when I'm tracking very quickly in Apex side to side on larger close-range targets, I feel that greater sense of freedom kind of applies to a benefit for me. That long-range, minute tracking, though, at a distance, like an example here from my other video the other day on Twitter, like those types of movements, I get that little bit of extra control that actually provides a benefit. So it's kind of a toss-up between the two, and I like having both of them in my lineup because the CR is something, again, that for certain games or certain moments, if I feel myself kind of, for instance, if I take like a week off or 2 weeks off, I feel myself kind of over-aiming a little bit at times, especially with those minute moments, so I might want to use something like the CR. If the CR came with a design aesthetic, again, it would be an exceptionally difficult call. You either want that sense of control or you want that sense of freedom and speed like the SP-005 offers, but both of them are exceptionally good pads. So guys, with that, I don't have much more to add. Obviously, the speed and feel of the pad is going to be dependent on if you're using dots, what type of dots, or full-size skates. The speed can either get lower or improve and get faster. To me, the Silver Fox feel really good. It's a happy medium. And with a light mouse like what I'm using right now, I still have a ton of speed on dynamic fast movements. It's really when you get down to like that static slow movement area, as well as when you apply that pressure, that I'm getting this really big sense of control on the smaller, lighter mice. Again, it's a unique pad in terms of its overall speed equivalent. It's a unique pad in its overall feel. And to me, I think it's something that actually works. So if you want a different glass pad in your lineup and you've only ever used Wallhack pads, this is going to feel like something new to you. If you've tried a controlled glass pad before, there are a few on the market. It might not be all that necessary for you to try this, but I do think that in terms of the controlled glass pads that I've tried, it's definitely one of the best. The only complaint I have about this is the same that I had on the VA. It does leave on the black surface some markings and like oil and things like that. Like moisture does wick away. It's very good in terms of like anti-stick to your skin. It's just like little things like dust and hairs. You see it kind of build up on the pad pretty readily, and maybe PTFE shavings as well. But when I do go over certain things, like I'm just not feeling that feedback like on some of the older or earlier versions of SkyPad. So overall, again, a very good pad. It's unique, it's different, and I think it's a good variation in the Wallhack lineup. It just depends. Do you want something that's open, airy, fast, speedy, or do you want something where you have control by digging in and getting some additional slowness from your pad if you need that assistance in overextensions, or you need that assistance in those minute small movements, and maybe you main tack shooters, this might be a better glass option for you. Again, if you play absolutely stunning on the faster SP-005 or the VA, you might want to stick to those. But again, if you want to try a controlled variant, this is definitely, I think, a great glass pad. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.